Selenium Class 2, Introduction to Selenium, Part 2. Yesterday, we discussed Introduction to Selenium, Part 1. First, I indexed this one, nearly 10 topics. Yesterday, we discussed 3 topics, but third topic incomplete. Can you list out, Jyotirmayi? First topic, what we discussed yesterday? Index this one. 3 topics we discussed. Next 7 topics yet to discuss. First one, what is
Selenium?
Good. What is Selenium? Next,
History of Selenium.
good. History. History of the Selenium project. Selenium project. Next, third one.
Selenium cold suit.
Yes, official term is Selenium components. Selenium components according to seleniumhq.org documentation, or you can say Selenium, Selenium's
Sweeter.
tools,
Yeah.
tools suite. Okay, Kiran Mai. Next, Preeti. Basically, here we have 4 tools, but that Selenium RC outdated, removed in this latest version of Selenium, Selenium 3. Just list out those 4. What are the 4 components or tools of Selenium suite?
Selenium IDE.
Good. Selenium IDE, integrated environment. Next,
Selenium RC.
Selenium remote control RC. Next,
Selenium Webdriver.
Selenium Webdriver, powerful tool.
And Selenium Grid.
Good. And Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid. Okay. Say up to this one, we discussed pending. Incomplete this third topic. Okay, we'll continue. Next, observe Vijay. Vijay, yesterday we indexed total 10 topics. What are the remaining topics, Vijay? What are the remaining topics?
Sir, like we had discussed each Selenium IDE feature and advantages and sorry,
What I am
disadvantages.
asking, what you are telling, Vijay? What are the remaining topics in this chapter? Nearly I indexed 10 topics.
Okay.
Fourth one,
Okay,
environment supported by Selenium. Otherwise, you can say platforms. This is
supported
actual
by
term
Selenium.
only. Platforms or environments. Platforms supported by Selenium. Next,
license.
Yes, Selenium.
License is provided by Selenium.
Not provided. Selenium license. Actually, it is open source. Why Selenium license? I will explain in that topic. Next.
Advantages of Selenium.
Advantage of Selenium. Any other? Okay.
Disadvantages, advantages, and testing framework.
Yes, just a minute. Testing frameworks. Anyone? Testing frameworks and other tools used in Selenium. Next,
UFT versus
UFT versus advantages. Selenium. Observe, I didn't mention advantages of Selenium. Next, disadvantages of Selenium. Next, Selenium,
versus UFT.
good, versus Unified Functional Testing, formerly QTP, Quick Test Professional. Next, last one,
Selenium
Selenium
environment set.
Environment Setup. Environment Setup. Observe. Observe, Sirisha, why environment setup? See, it is open source software, not like UFT, formerly QTP. If it is UFT, you just download the UFT software from HP site. After downloading, just extract that one, that zipped folder, then you can directly install executable file available in that folder. You can directly install and use. But Selenium not like that. Here we need to configure. Selenium is not vendor tool. It is open source software. First you need to install Java for programming. Next, Eclipse IDE for writing and executing test scripts, or you can say programs. Next, Selenium Webdriver bindings, jar files. Next, TestNG or JUnity testing, JUnit or TestNG framework software. Anyone install, download and install, etc. But UFT not like that. Download from HP site and just install UFT tool features as well as VB script features will be installed automatically. You can directly use VB script code in UFT tool editor. Okay, na Sirisha, any confusion?
No, sir.
Increase the volume. Any queries?
Okay.
Okay. Preeti.
Yes, sir.
Observe, Preeti, yesterday this is incomplete one. Which one? Third topic, Selenium components or Selenium's tool suite. In that topic we discussed IDE, RC anyhow outdated, and one more thing, successor of RC is Webdriver. Next, in Selenium 3, yesterday we discussed history of Selenium project. In the topic I explained what is Selenium 1, what is Selenium 2, and what is Selenium 3. In Selenium 3, no Selenium RC implementation, only Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Okay. Next, regarding the Selenium WebDriver also we discussed 2-3 points. What are the 2-3 points? Can you tell me, Preeti? We discussed 2-3 points. What are they? See, somebody joined without name. Who is that person? Hello?
I'm Vijaya, sir.
Vijaya. You try to use your name while joining. Okay, Vijaya.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. While joining, daily use name, your name, short name or full name. Okay. Continue, Preeti.
WebDriver is used to create and execute the test cases.
Just a minute. 2 points we discussed. Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver. Already I told driver use D capital letter. Selenium WebDriver having programming interface only, but no integrated development environment. Yesterday we discussed that one. Next, continue, Vijay from Bangalore. Selenium WebDriver having only programming interface, no IDE, and we can achieve
Sir, it is
everything. Next.
It's a very powerful tool,
Yes.
tool, sir.
Yes. Selenium WebDriver Selenium WebDriver is a powerful tool in the Selenium suite. Okay. Next, I provided one small case study also, Vijay. Selenium IDE, integrated environment. Next, Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver. Next, computator, EFT, or you can say formerly Quick Test Professional. Observe these similarities. These three tools are for creating and executing test cases, automated tests. Okay, but when it comes to Selenium IDE, it has integrated development environment only, but no programming support, no programming interface, no programming interface. Next, when it comes to Selenium WebDriver,
has programming interface.
Just a minute. It has programming interface,
but no IDE.
No IDE only, but no IDE, integrated development environment. No tool features, no menus, no menu items, sub-menus, items, etc. Next, when it comes to EFT, formerly QTP, it has both. It has both IDE as well as programming interface.
Sir, I have one question. Can I ask you, sir?
Yes.
I know it is a repetitive question I'm asking you because yesterday only you have taken 2 hours class. Along with that, you are also not explaining me. But just for the understanding purpose and for the confirmation purpose, I wanted to ask you one question.
Quick.
IDE, sir. Means what is IDE, sir? Like
integrated development environment. Integrated development environment means it has built-in features. Yesterday we discussed C language versus C#.NET. .NET having integrated development environment. Same, EFT also having tool menus, file menu, automation menu, design menu, etc. Suppose if you want to create test case using EFT, you can use recording feature. If you want to insert checkpoints, if you want to insert verification points, you can use checkpoints. But in Selenium WebDriver, no tool features, means no IDE. Getting?
Sir.
Observe.
Means like sir, I just want to confirm myself. Means where in like how in UFT tool, sir, we can insert checkpoint, we can insert some all the 11 checkpoints, whatever is there, like
that is not our syllabus.
Understood. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So like that in IDE, we have
in UFT tool you can find IDE nearly 10 menus, file menu, design menu, automation menu, etc. menus. From that menus you can insert. Suppose if you want to insert checkpoint, insert standard checkpoint or page checkpoint or database checkpoint based on your test requirement, select that one, put recording mode, select that one, it will generate. Otherwise, instead of checkpoint, you can use VB script conditional statement, if condition, etc. But in Selenium WebDriver, that facility not available. No tool features, no built-in features, no ID, means no ID.
Okay.
Observe.
Yes, sir.
Vijaya, observe. This is Notepad, one small software from Microsoft, And one more thing, it is not separate software. If you install Windows operating system, it is distributed software, free software, freeware with operating system paid, but freeware along with it will available with operating system. Okay, it has IDE or not, Vijaya?
Yes, sir. It has IDE and
IDE,
programming
observe Vijay
interface.
from Bangalore. IDE available. Suppose if you want to increase the font size, you no need to write the code now.
Okay,
Select the
sir.
font and go to edit menu, file menu. Here menus are there na. Format menu. Go to
Okay.
font. Here you can select font style. Next font size, etc. Na.
Ha, sir.
What is that? What is these menus and menu items? New is item. Format is menu. Font is menu item. What are these? Built-in features of Notepad. This is IDE.
Okay.
Okay, na?
Okay. Okay, sir.
But Selenium WebDriver doesn't have any IDE. While discussing Selenium WebDriver, you can find. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
These three we discussed.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. And one more thing, Preeti Joshi. Here I compared these two. I eliminated Selenium IDE. Why? Selenium IDE doesn't support programming, so it is not recommendable for complex test design. You can use Selenium WebDriver, or UFT also supports complex test design. And I compared these two tools. Which one is powerful? Can you tell me, Preeti, which one is powerful? Selenium WebDriver or UFT?
Both are powerful.
No, we cannot say. How can you say both are powerful or both are not powerful? Powerful or not, we don't know. But we cannot say. Suppose if you ask, observe Preeti, Selenium IDE versus Selenium WebDriver, which one is powerful? Here we can say, clearly we can say, Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver, which one is powerful? I can say, Selenium WebDriver is powerful. Why? Selenium IDE only having IDE. Using record and playback features, we can generate tests, but no programming support. If it is Selenium WebDriver programming support, okay, even though it is not having IDE, we can write code for each and everything. Everything is possible in Selenium WebDriver. So Selenium WebDriver is powerful. But when we compare Selenium WebDriver with UFT, we cannot say. But Selenium WebDriver takes more time and efforts, but everything is possible. But UFT having both IDE as well as programming interface, but so many drawbacks are there when it compares to Selenium WebDriver. For example, Selenium WebDriver supports various programming languages, Java, C#, Perl, Python, Ruby, etc. But UFT supports VB script only. Next, UFT, one advantage, it can automate desktop applications and web-based applications. Selenium WebDriver only for web-based applications. But Selenium WebDriver supports various operating environments also. Windows, Macintosh, Linux, etc. But UFT supports only Windows operating environment. Okay. Selenium WebDriver has advantages. UFT has some other advantages. So at this point of time, we can't say. But anyhow, you prefer programming interface first. Okay. In UFT also having programming interface. Yes, UFT also having programming interface. But UFT uses VB script. Visual Basic Scripting Edition, scripting language. You can achieve anything, but Java, here we are using Java. Java is some powerful than VB script. Okay, but at this point of time, both are, we cannot say, but Selenium WebDriver also powerful. Even though it takes more time, more efforts for creating test cases, but we can achieve everything. Okay, na? Jyotirmayi, any confusion, Jyotirmayi, Smriti?
I'm good, sir.
Okay. Jyotirmayi, any confusion? Jyotirmayi not responding. Bhavani?
I am good, sir.
Okay, cool, cool. Now come to this one. I need to explain. First, we are in features. I need to explain two more points. Okay. Observe, Vijaya, observe.
Yes, sir.
The primary purpose, say, Selenium WebDriver. Already I told driver D capital, it is not dictionary word, write like this. In their documentation, they mentioned like this only. Selenium WebDriver is used to create and
execute.
another name, run test or execute test, synonym, same. Create and execute test cases. This is thing. Okay. V means testers. Testers are general term users. Observe, Vijaya. We use element locators and WebDriver element locators and WebDriver commands, official term from the documentation, application programming interface, API commands, otherwise you can say methods. We use object dot method syntax. Okay. We use element locators and WebDriver API commands to create test cases. Is it clear? I will explain it. First, I will list out the topics. All of you put mute. Next, already we discussed Selenium WebDriver. Observe Smriti, observe Srisha. Selenium WebDriver supports, already we discussed, various browsers. Next, operating environments and programming languages to create test scripts, or you can say test cases, or general term programs. Okay, this is developer term. Now come Sirisha. Selenium WebDriver supports various browsers. Can you list out those browsers? What are the top 3 industry popular browsers? General question. Important one. Testers and developers need to familiar with computer and mobile software environment. Tell me what are the top 3 are popular browsers in the IT industry?
Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome.
Say, observe the sequence, Vijay from Bangalore. Vijay, observe the sequence, B. Vijay.
Yes.
Actually, old one is Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge now. But nowadays, here 2 concepts are there, Vijay, server side, client side. suppose we are accessing internet, ICICbank.com, HDFCbank.com, these are user interface. See, server side, Microsoft Internet Explorer having some market share, but client side, when it comes to client side, Google Chrome first. In what is that chapter? Cross browser testing chapter. I will explain the share also. Okay. Google Chrome according to market share. Next, Mozilla, Firefox. Next, this one, Microsoft Internet Explorer, IE, or nowadays new name, Microsoft Edge in Windows 10. Next, observe, Sirisha, these three industry popular browsers, our Selenium WebDriver supports these three and some others also. More than 90% market share, these three only. Next, Safari. Next, Opera, etc. Next, continue, Sirisha. Operating environments. For example, EFT supports only Windows operating environment. EFT, formerly QTP, doesn't support other environments. But Selenium WebDriver supports. Continue, Sirisha.
Microsoft Windows,
Microsoft Windows,
Linux,
Linux. Next,
and
Macintosh.
Macintosh.
Short name is Mac,
Mac.
etc. Next, observe, Smriti. Selenium WebDriver supports various programming languages to create test cases. You can use any one. In our training program, we are using Java. Why Java? That I will explain in Java module. Nearly 77% worldwide Selenium testers using Java. That we will discuss later. Tell me, what are the supporting programming platforms by Selenium WebDriver? Not responding.
It's a Java,
Java.
Python.
Sirisha, after answering the question, put mute. Now Smriti only. All of you put mute except Smriti. Java.
Python.
Good. Python.
And C#.NET.
Yes, C#.
Perl, Ruby.
Observe Vijay B. Bangalore Vijay, observe. In .NET net-enabled technology from Microsoft, it has 30 to 35 technologies. In order to provide common runtime, they created the .NET framework. In the .NET, you can find VB.NET, C#.NET, ASP.NET, etc. Even SQL Server also part of .NET technology. But our Selenium supports C#.NET only. Getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Continue, Smriti.
So Perl, Ruby, PHP. Yeah.
Perl, hypertext preprocessor, PHP, and Ruby. Okay.
Yes.
Next, observe, these are the important features of Selenium WebDriver. Anyhow, in Selenium WebDriver chapter, once again I will explain theory and show practical also. Observe here one topic, Preeti, important one. We use, just a minute. This is one point. The second one. Next, this third one is case study, comparison. Fourth one, fifth one. Next, seventh one, combo. Next, this is answer. Okay. 3 2, 4, 5, 5 topics, important topics. Now observe this one, Preeti. Selenium WebDriver is used to create and execute test cases. Observe, Sirisha, create test cases. Jyotirmai, yesterday I think I told terminology may vary from one environment to another. Suppose in UFT, formerly QTP, we use test or tests, or you can say test scripts, test or test script. But in UFT official, in Selenium WebDriver, official term is test case, or you can say test script. But in UFT, formerly QTP, no test case term. In manual testing, you can find test case, but in Selenium WebDriver, official term is test case, but you can use test script also. Creating test cases. This is one important one. Here, observe, Vijay, in our test cases, we write test steps, isn't it? In Selenium WebDriver,
Yes, sir.
I will provide one general topic. Observe, Vijay. Test steps. Suppose in one test case 20 statements are there, or 20 lines of code is there. Example, okay, line is different, statement is different, that is okay. Suppose 20 statements are there in our test case, means 20 steps. See, statement, step, instruction, all are synonyms. Okay. Suppose test case. Just a minute. Test steps. In general topic, I didn't covered in last batch also. Test steps in Selenium WebDriver. Types of. Observe, Jyotirmai. We use different types of steps or statements or instructions in Selenium WebDriver test cases. Not only in Selenium WebDriver test cases. You take UFT or RFT or Silk test or any test tool, we use test steps in order to form test cases. Every test case having multiple test steps. Here we can find different types of test steps. Getting this point or any confusion?
No confusions.
Okay. Here observe, Vijay, in UFT, actually UFT not our syllabus. Don't go to in depth in UFT, just observe. In UFT also we write, I have more than 4 years experience up to 2013. Experience on UFT, formerly QTP also, but don't go in depth. Say in UFT tests, you can find test steps like this. Declarations, variable declarations, constant declarations, etc. Next, checkpoint statements, or if you use programming, conditional statements. Next, if you use parameterization, loop statements. Next, functions in VB script. Suppose if it is Java, Selenium WebDriver, we use user-defined methods for reusable components, etc. Different types of statements. In Selenium WebDriver also we have different types of statements. Just try to understand the, Sirisha, try to understand the structure of Selenium WebDriver test case. This structure or this skeleton is common for all types of automated scripts. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Observe in EFT, test object statement, test object call, or test object statement we use. Anybody having EFT knowledge? Vijay, observe Vijay. In our test cases, important statements are object calls in EFT, object calls or test object statements. Example, suppose browser is test object in EFT. Browser of, suppose I am writing descriptive code, otherwise normal code. Browser of Google, suppose dot close. Browser of Google dot close. Suppose if it is Windows environment, suppose dialog box, dialog of box name, login, next dot button is test object, suppose button name, OK, dot click. Observe, Vijay, these are object calls in EFT. Okay, na? Any confusion?
No, sir. Fine, sir.
In EFT, formerly QTP. These are object call. Here, no object term in Selenium. Similar term, element. Element calls, or you can say element steps or statements. Observe, Preeti, I think you have some knowledge on Selenium WebDriver. You try to write equivalent statements for these two element calls, element object synonyms. Already I told, terminology varies from one environment to another. Suppose in QTP or latest version EFT, we use object. In Selenium, element. Just a minute. Spell mistake. Just a minute. We use element. Both are synonyms. There we use, observe, Vijay, object property value terms in EFT. Here, element, locator, value, same. Observe, in depth, Preeti, in EFT, three terms. Observe this one, object, property, next value. Suppose button is object. Suppose property, text property, label of the button, value is OK. Next browser, next or name, title or name, suppose name, next Google. Here also same elements. Here element, observe important structure, element, locator. Anyhow, that I will explain in element locators chapter. Selenium WebDriver supports 8 element locators. You can use any one unique. Value. Observe Preeti. Here also, suppose button or suppose added box. Added box is element. Next locator, some ID or name. ID is username, like this. Getting these 3 points, 3 terms, Preeti,
Yes, sir.
observe one operation, Preeti. Observe one operation. Observe Vijay also. Click. This one is only understanding purpose, double quotes. Gmail link in the Google home page. Okay, forget about precondition and post condition. Just do this one. Observe Vijay. If it is UFT, in UFT, observe Vijay. Whenever you want to perform any operation on child object, then you need to write parent-child hierarchy na? In UFT. Hello? Preeti.
Yes, sir. So first we will go to the Google.
Observe.
Yes.
One window is there. If you want to close that window, you can directly write window of, suppose abcd dot close. Why? No parent. Window is the first instance. Suppose in that window cancel button is there. I want to click that one. For that, first I need to write window of abcd dot button of cancel dot click. Whenever you want to perform any operation on child or subchild object, you need to write parent-child hierarchy in UFT. But in Selenium WebDriver, Preeti, no need to write parent-child hierarchy. Na? You can use just driver object, driver dot find element of, suppose button or edit box or something. Direct na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Observe Sirisha. Any confusion, Sirisha? Jyotirmayi. Why people are not responding?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, cool. Observe. Vijay B. Vijay K. Can you tell me the script for this one? UFT script. Click Gmail link. Suppose here parent is browser. Suppose assume that browser name is Google. Next, child is page. Most of the time home page name and browser name same. Second page names may vary. Suppose just assume Google dot subchild. Observe Preeti. Link is subchild of browser na. Browser page link. Link test object name same link only of Gmail dot operation is click. Okay na Vijay? Any confusion? Vijay not responding. Vijaya, any confusion?
No, sir, I'm good.
Observe browser. Browser is test object. Google, name of the test object. Page, test object. Here child test object. Okay. Google name. Link is test object. Subchild test object. Gmail, name of the test object. Click, operation. That is general term. Method. That is technical term. Method, operation, both are same. Method is technical term, operation is business term. In Selenium, Preeti, write the code for Selenium, same browser dot. I'm not asking how to launch browser, how to close browser, precondition and post condition, just that statement.
Driver.
Driver object.
Yeah.
Driver dot find. In future you can get more clarity. Element of Suppose here no page required, directly link. Suppose element locator, link text of, for example, link text visible na, Gmail. This is link text is one locator. How to choose locator, that we will discuss in element locators chapter, practical chapter. This is only roadmap. Okay. Dot, here also operation same, name same. Okay. Okay na, any confusion, Preeti Joshi?
No, sir. I think one bracket is remaining.
Yes. I forgot that one. Here one bracket, here one bracket, here. Good. Okay. Okay na. Next, observe. Smriti, automate these two. First I wrote na, browser close, driver, sorry, dialog box. This is one object. Next button click. You automate using Selenium WebDriver. Sirisha, any idea?
No,
Nobody.
sir.
Jyotirmai, automate these two. This is these two lines. UFT code. Right? Selenium WebDriver code. Observe
Yes, sir.
driver. Observe Preeti. I think Preeti has some knowledge. Driver dot. Preeti.
Find element.
I find element. Just a closing browser.
Close.
Driver dot close. Okay.
Close na.
Yes, sir.
And one more thing. Here, click semicolon Java. VB script no colons. Driver dot close enough na.
Yes, sir.
Next for this one, dialog login.
Driver dot.
No,
Driver dot.
no. Doesn't support. Observe Preeti. We have flight reservation application in desktop application in UFT na, sample application. Dialog button OK. That is desktop application na. Here no web concept na. Selenium doesn't support that one na.
Yes, sir.
I think Jyotirmai trying to tell something. What is Jyotirmai?
Can you please come back again? I didn't get there.
What is this statement? Jyotirmai, observe. This is Windows based application. This is not web application. Getting?
Yes, yes, yes.
Selenium WebDriver doesn't support desktop application
Windows.
na.
No, yeah, yeah.
That's why I didn't write code. Just second, doesn't support. WebDriver doesn't support. Isn't it?
Okay. Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
cool. WebDriver doesn't support. Okay. This knowledge is enough. Just I will show one small thing. Here, what are these steps? Element calls, or you can say element statements. Observe Vijay. Element calls, element statements. What is the name of what is the name in EFT? Preeti. Object calls, or you can say test object statements. Okay na?
Yes, sir.
Observe Vijaya. Suppose I am launching this one. Google. I want to click this one, Vijaya. Suppose manual operation. Clicking. Okay, it is redirecting to Gmail homepage, for example. Here two operations. First, What is that one? This one. In this step, manual step, you can find two operations according to test automation. One is identify Gmail, identify Gmail link. This is one step. After identify Gmail link in Google homepage. After identifying, click on Gmail link. Observe, Sirisha, I divided this task into two operations. Click Gmail link in the Google homepage. First identify the Gmail, then click. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Suppose in that second room one person is there, person called Preeti, call her. First you need to go to that place and first you need to identify the Preeti na. Who is Preeti like? Then
Yes.
call Preeti. Call is operation. Like that. Same only. Observe Preeti. Observe. Here for this one, how Selenium WebDriver identifies elements using element locators. What are element locators? How to choose? That we will discuss in element locators chapter. Element locators. Otherwise, you will have confused if I explain more topics. This one, performing operations. Just a minute. Using WebDriver commands, or you can say methods. Observe Jyotirmayi. Here two tasks na. Suppose click Gmail link in the Google homepage. That is one test step. In order to achieve that step, first recognize the Gmail link element or object, then click that one. How to recognize? Somebody? Hello?
Yes, sir. Jyoti.
Observe Jyoti. First identify the Gmail link on this home page. How to identify? Using element locators of Selenium. How? That we will discuss later. Next, how to click on Gmail link using WebDriver commands. Getting this point? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Any confusion, Vijay? Come to mainstream, Sirisha. What is the mainstream? Types of steps in Selenium WebDriver. What we discussed? Element calls. Okay. Element calls, or you can say element statements. These are the important statements, important steps in Selenium test cases. Next, observe Preeti. Declarations. Usually we declare variables. Next, constants. What are programming constants? We will discuss later. Constants, etc. Next, verification points. How to achieve verification points we will discuss. Next, parameterization steps. Parameterization steps are statements. Next, synchronization. synchronization, one or more steps. Next, error handling. Just a minute. Error handling steps, etc. So important steps, element calls only. Suppose file handling steps. Suppose I want to import one text file or Excel file. Handling steps. File handling steps, etc. See, these are the types. Suppose observe Vijay. Any confusion, Vijay? But here no checkpoints, only verification points. But if it is UFT, you can use checkpoint or VB script conditional statements. Observe Srisha, any confusion? Not responding.
No, sir.
Smriti. Now contribute Preeti. Drawbacks. Drawbacks of Selenium. Webdriver. Webdriver. Observe Vijaya. Vijaya. We discussed
Yes, sir.
features of Selenium WebDriver. Features of Selenium
Yes, sir.
WebDriver. This time, drawbacks of Selenium WebDriver. Okay, now Vijaya.
Yes, sir.
Ah,
Okay, sir.
contribute Vijaya. Contribute one or two. And already I told some common drawbacks are there. Suppose supports this Windows based supports web based
Web-based
application only.
applications
That is
only.
not only for Selenium WebDriver, also for other tools in the suite. That is common.
Okay.
Suppose since it is open source software, no technical support, no reliable technical support like UFT, HP support. That is also common. But I am asking
Yes, sir.
Selenium WebDriver specific. Contribute you and
Selenium-
Preeti Joshi also.
Selenium WebDriver has no IDE.
Good.
Uh,
Selenium WebDriver. WebDriver
has no IDE.
doesn't have any IDE or no otherwise has no IDE. Just a minute. Has
Yes.
no integrated development environment. Observe Vijay. Here integrated environment means no tool features, no built-in features, no built-in concepts. Next. So
So it takes more time to create
takes,
test cases.
more time and efforts to create. Execution different. We no need to execute. Tool Selenium can execute quickly, but for writing or designing test cases, user means tester interaction
take
required.
more time.
Tester interaction efforts to create test cases when it compares to other tools. Next. Okay.
No
okay.
built-in result.
Yes. No. This one also important. Okay, you can leave Vijay after this one. Then Preeti Joshi can guide me. No built-in result or reporting facility. How to overcome this problem using testing framework? We can overcome that. We will discuss later. But no built-in. Observe Vijay. If it is EFT, formerly QTP, built-in result reporting facility available. After executing any test, then you can get result window. You can get test result. In UFT, we can get test result for every test iteration, but here No built-in result report facility. This is one. Next, Preeti Joshi.
No centralized maintenance.
No. That is only for Selenium IDE. Here, POM. What is that POM? POM. Page object model concept is there. Using page object model, we can maintain elements in centralized location. Anyhow, that we will discuss later. Continue, Preeti. No other tool integration for test. You can use other tools. Okay, Vijay. Manage. You can leave, Vijay. No other tool integration for test management. Observe, Srisha. If it is EFT, formerly QTP, ALM, Application Lifecycle Management, formerly Quality Center, integration is there. Without launching Quality Center or ALM, we can directly send defects from EFT result window to ALM project. But here no other tool integration. You can use other tools separately. No integration, but you launch separately and post defects, track defects, etc. Next, observe Preeti. When it compares to other tools like UFT, RFT, environment setup is difficult na? Configuration of Selenium WebDriver difficult na?
Yes, sir.
Why? Suppose if it is UFT, just download and install. You no need to install VB script separately, UFT separately, and testing framework separately, etc. All in single software. Here, you need to install Java. You need to download and extract Eclipse. Next, download and add Selenium WebDriver, Java language bindings in our scenario. Next, download TestNG or JUnit framework and install from Eclipse. So, difficult to configure. Okay, it is possible but difficult. Difficult to configure Selenium WebDriver when it compares to EFT, RFT, other tools. Just a minute. When it compares to other tools. Okay. See, these are important. Observe, Preeti, in our syllabus, no Selenium grid. Selenium grid not mandatory, but I will explain a brief, I will provide brief description about Selenium grid. Tell me what is Selenium grid? First of all, observe Pavani, observe, first of all, it doesn't, we cannot create tests in Selenium grid. It is not for test design, isn't it? See, Selenium grid. Observe Pavani not responding. Respond, Pavani. Selenium grid is not for test case. What about you? What is the problem, Pavani?
Something internet problem, sir.
Okay, cool. Only for test execution. Observe Preeti Joshi. It is not for test design, only for execution. Suppose I used Selenium WebDriver. Anyhow, Selenium Grid doesn't support Selenium IDE tests. See, Selenium IDE. just a minute. Selenium grid doesn't support Selenium grid doesn't support, just a minute, doesn't support Selenium IDE test case execution. Okay, next, Selenium grid, Selenium grid in Selenium 2 version, Selenium 2 supports Selenium remote control and Selenium Webdriver test cases execution, test execution. Okay, next, observe Preeti, one more point. Selenium grid, where in Selenium 3, Selenium 3 supports Selenium WebDriver test cases execution only. Why, Preeti? In Selenium 3, no RC na?
Yes, sir.
RC outdated, leave it, that one. In Selenium 1.0, in 1.0, no WebDriver, not merged. So, form the sentence, Preeti.
Yes.
Selenium grid 1 supports Selenium RC test cases execution only na.
Yes, sir.
Now this one is the latest. Just a minute. And one more thing, observe, Sirisha. Suppose I used, now forget, take the latest version. Suppose I used Selenium WebDriver for test design. Selenium WebDriver also supports test execution. Then why I need to use Selenium Grid? I used Selenium WebDriver. For example, I used Selenium WebDriver for creating test cases. I can use Selenium WebDriver only for executing those cases. Then why I need to use Selenium Grid? Srisha.
For test execution.
Pardon?
For test execution.
Your voice is low and answer also wrong answer. Vijaya. Test
parallel
execution. What I
testing?
am telling Sirisha. For test execution,
For
Selenium
parallel
WebDriver
testing.
supports. Selenium WebDriver also
Parallel
supports.
testing.
Execution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who is telling parallel test execution?
Vijay.
Jyoti sir.
Jyotirmai. Good. Vijay also. Good. See. Selenium. See. Selenium grid supports parallel test execution or parallel testing. Simple term. Parallel testing. What is parallel testing? It can execute tests or test cases against different browsers and machines. Machine means computers. Machines. See, it can execute test cases against different browsers and machines. Machines means computers in parallel. Suppose in your project no parallel test execution, leave it. Otherwise, but it doesn't support test design. What is parallel? Observe Smriti. Observe
Yes,
Smriti.
sir.
Here, for example, Smriti, I created 100 test cases. 100 test cases. Suppose if I want to execute these 100 test cases, suppose 4 hours time. Just assume, Smriti. Suppose as per customer request or customer demand, I want to execute these 100 against 3 different browsers: Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and IE. 100 on Chrome, 100 on IE, 100 on Mozilla. So total 12 hours. If we use Selenium Grid, suppose take 3 systems, distribute that one on first system, all 100 cases using Mozilla. On second system, all 100 cases using Chrome. On third system, all 100 cases using Internet Explorer. So within 4 hours, you can achieve these. You can execute all 100 against 3 browsers instead of 12 hours time. Getting this point? Smriti, any
Yes.
confusion?
No, sir, it's good. Yeah, I got
And one more thing, Smriti.
it.
Suppose no
Yes, sir.
cross-browser testing. Suppose 100 cases. Suppose
Yeah.
300 cases. Otherwise 100, leave it. Observe 2 scenarios, Smriti. 100 test
Yes.
cases. As per customer request, you have to execute these 100 using Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, IE. Total 3 browsers, 3 times. 100 into 3, 300. 4 into 3, 12 hours. Suppose if we use 3 missions, on first mission Mozilla, second mission Chrome, third mission IE, so within 4 hours you can complete. This is one scenario. Another scenario, Smriti, suppose no cross-browser testing, we have 100 tests, it takes nearly 4 hours. Suppose I want to execute these tests using only single browser, for example Mozilla. If you use cross-browser, what will happen? Suppose 33 tests. 33 tests on first mission, or suppose 50 missions on first mission, 50 missions on second mission. Within 2 hours time, you can complete it now by distributing.
Yes.
This is about parallel testing. Observe.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Pavani, any confusion, Pavani? Pavani,
Yes, sir.
any confusion?
No, sir. It's clear.
Okay. This is about third topic. What is the third topic? Selenium components or Selenium's.
I have one question.
Tell me, quick.
The Selenium grid in Selenium 2.0, it supports Selenium RC and Selenium
Yes, both
WebDriver.
Selenium RC also as like Selenium WebDriver. Selenium RC supports Java, Perl, Python, Ruby also. But nowadays Selenium RC outdated. And one more thing, in Selenium 2 also, if we use Selenium 2 also, we don't use Selenium RC. We use Selenium WebDriver only. Selenium RC for only for old projects, maintenance projects. Then what is the problem?
No, what does that mean? The Selenium grid supports
Yes.
RC.
Yes. Suppose you are using, suppose 3 years back or 5 years back, you are using Selenium RC for test design and grid for execution. Yes, you can attach Selenium RC test cases in grid and execute. Suppose you are using Selenium WebDriver, 200 cases created, use that Selenium grid for execution. Yes, it supports Selenium 2. Suppose I created 200 test cases in Selenium IDE, want to use Selenium Grid. No, Selenium Grid doesn't support Selenium IDE. Suppose Selenium Grid in Selenium 3, I created Selenium WebDriver test. I want to execute using Selenium Grid. Possible. Suppose we have old Selenium RC tests, want to execute in Selenium 3 Selenium Grid. No, not possible. Then what is the problem, Preeti?
So are we doing like that in WebDriver? We are creating those test cases and we are copying those test cases in Selenium Grid and we are executing
yes.
those.
Otherwise, not mandatory. In Selenium WebDriver also you can execute. Suppose if parallel testing not there in your project, just execute continuously, means one by one in Selenium WebDriver. Already I told, Selenium WebDriver also supports execution, not only design. But Selenium Grid only for test execution, not design, but parallel testing. Any problem?
So if we want to do the parallel testing, so we need to use Selenium Grid.
Not mandatory. Right? Selenium WebDriver also supports parallel testing. That I will explain in TestNG chapter, but only using one mission. If you want to use multiple missions, then Selenium Grid. Otherwise, Selenium WebDriver also support partial test, parallel testing.
Okay. Now cool. I got it. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Selenium WebDriver also supports parallel testing, but partial. But Selenium Grid complete. That we will discuss later. Now come Pavani, fourth one, platform supported by Selenium. Observe, Sirisha. Here I am going to use 4 different platforms. I am going to use 4 different platforms. One is browsers. Observe, Vijaya. Here don't consider any one tool. Don't consider any one tool. Selenium IDE or Selenium Grid or Selenium WebDriver. Consider entire suite. Suppose in suite Selenium IDE doesn't support different browsers, but WebDriver supports. So entire suite time we use it supports various browsers. Okay. Suppose browsers. This is 1, 2. Operating. Already we discussed, but I am segregating. Operating systems. Next.
Programming languages.
Pardon?
Programming languages.
Yes. Programming languages. Next. Application just a minute. Application environment. Okay. Just a minute. Now observe, Jyotirmai, browsers. Consider whole Selenium suite. Selenium IDE doesn't support all browsers, but RC WebDriver Grid supports. So take it supports Google Chrome. Continue. Vijaya, Google Chrome.
Mozilla Firefox.
Good. Mozilla Firefox.
Internet Explorer.
Good. Internet. Just a minute. Internet Explorer. Nowadays, Microsoft Edge.
Yes.
Next.
Safari.
Opera. Next. Safari, etc. Next, second one. Sirisha. Okay, Vijaya. Sirisha. Operating systems.
Yes, sir. Microsoft Windows.
You try to increase your volume. Otherwise, at least by tomorrow, you try to use headphones. MS Windows.
Linux,
next Linux, next
Mac,
Macintosh, Mac.
Macintosh. Yes, sir.
These three important, etc. Apple OX also, that is different. These three important. Next, Pavani, programming languages Pavani. Consider whole suite. Forget about Selenium ID, Webdriver, RC, grid are there. Pavani,
Java,
good Pavani. Java,
Python, Ruby, Perl,
good. Python, Perl. Next, for example, Ruby. Important one you forgot it. .NET.
she has .NET,
Next,
PHP,
good. Hypertext preprocessor PHP 336 over. Next, Smriti, application environment, important one. Observe Smriti and Sirisha.
Okay.
See, observe application environment. Observe Sirisha. Basically, we have two types of software. Computer software. Nowadays, software is not only for computers. Computer software and mobile software. Mobile software. In computer software, you can find two important types of three important. One is CUI based applications. CUI based applications, command user based applications. Suppose old calculators, etc. online. But CUI based, no element term. So even no, otherwise Selenium Webdriver doesn't support. Okay na Preeti?
Yes, sir.
Desktop applications. Desktop applications. Just a minute. Desktop applications. Next, web. Web applications. Tell me, Preeti, guide me. Selenium, is it support web applications?
Yes, sir.
yes,
Doesn't support. Observe, forget about C, command user interface applications. Nowadays below 3%, 95%, more than 95%, either desktop or web. It doesn't support desktop, but QTP supports. It supports this. Next, come to mobile software. Observe Srisha, Smriti. Here also we have three types of environments. One is mobile native applications as like desktop. Observe Srisha, native applications. You can find native applications in Play Stores, Google Play Store, etc. No. Next, mobile web applications, or you can say web apps. Web apps. Yes. Next, just a minute. Next, third one, hybrid applications. Preeti, can you tell me one hybrid application in this one, computer environment.
Skype?
Skype is desktop application basically, but
Office.
Skype while working, Skype can integrate with internet now.
Yes,
internet
sir.
web. Okay. Observe nowadays latest change. Note using latest mobile plugin we can work with native and hybrid applications also. Okay na Jyotirmayi? Any confusion Jyotirmayi?
No, sir, I am good.
And one more thing Jyotirmayi, basically the UFT formerly QTP also developed for computer software. UFT can automate computer desktop applications, means Windows based client server applications and one-tier applications, next web applications also. But nowadays in you can find mobile center add-on in latest versions of UFT tool, means nowadays UFT vendor HP improving the compatibility of web applications. Getting?
Oh, so we have special tool to
Not
attach
special
to the
tool. Observe. Nowadays in UFT formerly QTP you can find mobile center add-on.
Okay.
You
Okay, add on.
by loading that add-on nowadays you can communicate with mobile applications using UFT also. Not only communicating, you can automate. But day by day or version by version, they are providing more compatibility with web applications using mobile center add-on. But in old versions, QTP old versions up to 11, no mobile center add-on. Getting?
Okay. Yes, sir.
And one more thing, Sirisha, some mobile test tools available exclusively for mobile testing. Observe, Sirisha. Can you give me one example? Mobile test tool exclusively for mobile testing? Sirisha not responding. Vijaya?
No idea, sir.
Smriti?
Some APM or something
Yes.
like that?
Yes. APM. APM is mobile testing framework as per the documentation. Some are saying APM is tool, but in the documentation apm.io you can find mobile testing framework like term. Okay, APM is exclusively for mobile testing. Observe, Jyotirmayi, nowadays Silk Test from Micro Focus, they are also adding plugins for mobile testing. They are also increasing compatibility for mobile applications. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Nowadays, in olden days, for example, before 10 years or before 7 years, software means primary thing computer software only. But nowadays, mobile software also increasing day by day, demand increasing. Getting? Nowadays, observe Pavani Yogendranath. Nowadays, mobile internet user also growing day by day. According to one market survey, now mobile internet users are higher than computer, desktop and laptop internet users in the world. Getting? Sirisha,
Yes,
Vijaya,
sir.
Yes, sir.
getting this point? Mobile software.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Without
Yes,
any
sir.
plugin, our Selenium supports mobile web applications. Getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Here also browsers different. Suppose Android browser or iOS browser, but web application only. Continue, Preeti.
Sir, I have a question. In just like we discuss about the APM, what are the tool names?
APM.
I don't remember. So that is that framework, right?
Actually, as per that APM official site documentation, APM is test automation framework, mobile test automation framework. But public term, some are using mass term test tool like mobile test tool, but official term is mobile testing framework. What is the problem?
Okay. So what is the difference between TestNG and APM?
That we will discuss later. TestNG is testing framework. It is not tool. First of all, TestNG doesn't support testing. You
But it
cannot
is a framework,
just
right?
framework, okay, but here some methods and annotations available. You can segregate test cases, you can uh, execute test cases using TestNG along with Selenium WebDriver, but TestNG doesn't recognize objects. Getting?
Yes.
Observe. In UFT also, UFT only recognizes objects. VB script doesn't recognize objects. VB script only for enhancements, inserting conditional statements, loop statements, functions, etc. and error handling. Here also, observe, Preeti, Selenium only recognizes objects. Next, TestNG doesn't recognize objects. Java doesn't recognize objects. They are only for enhancements. Getting?
Yes, sir.
But IPM can recognize mobile objects. That is tool-like, but not a direct tool, but tool-like. But TestNG is framework only, tool. Okay, framework also having, so some are saying Java framework in programming also. Several meanings, but here TestNG only for enhancements, test enhancement, but IPM for testing, means IPM can recognize objects. Then what is the problem?
There is no problem.
Okay, cool. Next, Sirisha, guide me, Sirisha. I think you are familiar with this one. Come to this one. Okay, na? Jyotirmai, this fourth concept, okay, na? Platform supported by Selenium.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now come to here I am going to provide one more note. Observe, Jyotirmai.
Yes, sir.
Note, Selenium IDE, Integrated Development Environment, doesn't support various browsers and programming, but it supports different operating systems. Okay, na, Jyotirmai, is it okay?
Yes.
Note.
Yes.
Okay. Note 1, Note 2. Next, guide me, Sirisha. Next topic, small topic, Selenium license. Selenium license. Observe, Sirisha, we already discussed. Suppose EFT is vendor tool, license is required, payment required. Yes. But Selenium is open source na. Then why license? Okay. Even though Selenium is open source, it has a license, but free license only. But what is the objective of that license? I will explain. Okay, observe, Sirisha. Selenium is an open source software. Next, anybody can download
Source code.
and use with just a minute, free of cost. Then why license? Okay. Uh, next point. Observe these points, Sirisha. Next point, Selenium projects. What is Selenium project? Development point of view, observe Vijaya. For example, Selenium IDE one project. As per developer's view,
Yes, sir.
Selenium WebDriver is one project. Selenium Grid is one project. Okay, Selenium projects released. Selenium projects were released under Apache
Apache
2. Observe Preeti, Apache 2 license. Here observe Srisha, we already discussed it is open source, no cost, anybody can download and use. Then why license name? Why the license? Okay, it is free license only. Then what is the purpose of this license? Objective is there. What are the objectives? Observe first one. Observe. Anybody, observe the points. Anybody can download and use Selenium projects with free of cost. It is confirmed. Next, anybody can means you can modify the code, source code. Anybody can, observe Preeti, anybody can modify the source code and use. Getting this point, Preeti? Suppose I downloaded Selenium WebDriver free. In that Selenium WebDriver, just assume 100 features are there, not built-in features using programming. Suppose I am adding some 4 or 5 features personally for our company. Then you can use with 104 or 105 features. Getting this point?
Yes, sir.
And distribute the code. Getting this point, Vijaya? Did you understand this last one? And distribute the code. Observe.
Yes, sir.
I downloaded Selenium WebDriver software and I added some features and I'm using that software, also distributing to my friends and some other companies. Yes, you can do,
Yes.
but with free of cost only. Next, what is the primary objective of Apache 2 license? Selling modified code is not allowed. This one. Did you understand this concept, Jyotirmayi?
Yes, sir.
Jyotirmayi. Any problem, Jyotirmayi?
No, sir. I am good.
Okay, cool. What about you, Sirisha? Vijaya?
Yes, sir. I'm good. I'm good, sir.
Selling modding. Suppose you downloaded Selenium WebDriver software. First point. First I am justifying first point.
Sir.
I downloaded Selenium WebDriver software and using in my company for our project. Okay, use free of cost. Next, I download second scenario. I downloaded Selenium software. In that, suppose 200 facilities are there, features are there, concepts are there. I added some 10. Now I am using that one for my project and I am distributing that modified software to my friends and or other companies, yes, you can, but
Yes, sir.
selling that modified code is not allowed. You can distribute the code with free of cost to your friends or to anybody. You upload to internet or you send to your um, competitor companies or other companies, friend companies, sister concerns, etc. But selling that modified not allowed. Suppose if you say like this, I downloaded Selenium Webdriver or Selenium other next implemented some new features for 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs, I will provide this software. That is not allowed. Getting or any confusion, Preeti Joshi?
No, sir, I'm good. Thanks.
Any other? Vijaya, Smriti Pandey,
I'm
Smriti.
I'm
I'm
good,
good.
sir.
Okay, cool.
I'm good, sir.
Okay, cool. All of you put mute. Next, guide me, Preeti Joshi. I think last point for the day. Testing frameworks. This one I will explain tomorrow. Today I will cover these two. Why? These are already we covered. Just a few points to few points extra. Guide me, Preeti Joshi. These advantages for entire Selenium suite. Earlier we discussed drawbacks of Selenium IDE, drawbacks of Selenium WebDriver, only specific. This is these are suite. Contribute, contribute, Preeti Joshi.
It is an open source.
Yes, first one. It is an open source. Open source software. Anybody can download and use with free of cost. For example, EFT license is required, vendor is HP. Suppose RFT license is required, vendor is IBM, but it is free. Next, contribute.
It supports various operating environment.
Yes, it supports various operating environments. Next, it supports various programming languages, programming platforms. Next, you continue, Vijaya. Suppose 3. Fourth one,
It supports various browsers.
okay. Just a minute. It supports various browser environments. Next,
It supports parallel testing.
yes. It supports parallel testing. Next,
And
parallel testing. Observe, Sirisha. Any idea?
Yes. Application environment supports various platforms.
Application environments. You have to actually. This is also not correct. Fourth one also, Sirisha. Actually, EFT also supports Mozilla, Google Chrome also, but various operating systems EFT doesn't support. Various programming doesn't support. Parallel testing EFT doesn't support. Next, you are telling application environments, na Sirisha.
Yes, sir.
But in this scenario, EFT is more. For example, EFT can support desktop applications, web applications, nowadays using mobile center add-on mobile applications also. Then what is the advantage of Selenium?
Okay.
Pardon?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other? Tell me, Preeti Joshi, list out advantage of Selenium.
Sorry,
Preeti,
what did you say, sir?
pardon?
What did you say, sir?
Any other advantages? Contribute.
It supports, okay.
Open source, okay. Various
It
operating
uses
environments, okay. Okay. Maximum we covered. We can
It
add.
uses less hardware resources.
Pardon?
It uses less hardware resources.
Who is telling?
Jyoti.
Yes. Good. Just a minute. Observe, Preeti. Jyoti point is correct. Why? It is programming interface, no IDE. So, it uses less hardware resources when it compares to other tools like UFT, RFT, etc. But Selenium IDE, that is different. But Selenium WebDriver Grid, Selenium WebDriver, powerful tool. So you can apply that thing for entire suite. Anyhow, when it compares to other tools, it is better. It uses less hardware resources.
Which gives high performance.
Okay, for test automation. Okay, anyhow, it leads to high performance. Any other Jyotirmai?
Sir, sir, how we are using less hardware, sir?
It is only programming interface, na? Just download Eclipse IDE, just use Java programming. Suppose if you download and use UFT installation, it has some internal features, na? Recording, checkpoints, operating system has to create some registry files for IDEs. Getting?
Okay, sir.
Observe. Suppose if it is C language .NET has IDE. If you want to use C# .NET, you have to download and install that software. For C language, just editor and compiler enough. Why? They don't have built-in features. Getting?
Yes, sir.
You take anything. Programming languages require less hardware resources. Otherwise, IDEs require more. Anything else? Jyotirmai Reddy? Jyoti Reddy? Any others?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. Remaining we will add later, if any others. Now contribute Jyotirmai. 1. Disadvantages. It
Only
supports
web-based applications.
Yes, it supports web applications. Doesn't support desktop applications. Applications only. Next, observe Jyoti, since it is open source, no reliable technical support. Open source is one advantage. Apart from that advantage, disadvantage also there. Why? Suppose if it is HP, you purchase a license for 40 lakh. Okay, expensive, but if any feature is not working, or if you struck at middle of the test automation, they support. But here no reliable support. They may support, may not support. No reliable technical support. No reliable technical support from anybody. Next. And one more thing, observe Jyoti, new features may work, may not work properly. If it is a vendor tool, they test and they provide guarantee for that. Here, in Selenium 3 also so many bugs, maybe after 3 months or 6 months, they may be rectified. Okay. New features. New features may not work. May work, may not work. Properly. And one more thing, Jyoti, it is less support when it compares to other tools, or limited support for image testing. Observe. New, sorry. low or low support or less support. Less support for image
Based
based
testing.
testing. Anything else?
No centralized maintenance of elements.
Okay. That is only for IDE, but
ID.
Selenium WebDriver centralized maintenance. Nowadays, what is that PAM? Page object model is there. Using page
Okay.
object model, we can achieve that one. Centralized
Okay.
maintenance of elements. Next, Selenium grid. Anyhow, Selenium grid is not for test design. That is
CC.
not the group suit drawback.
Yes, yes.
Ah,
And no other tool integration for
yes,
testing.
yes. No other tool integration. No other tool as like UFT and ALM quality center. No other tool integration for test management. Anything else contribute? Preeti Joshi? Preeti Joshi. Jyoti.
No built-in reporting facility.
Pardon?
No built-in reporting facility.
Yes. Good. Just a minute. No built-in result reporting facility. Result reporting facility, etc. Okay, na Sirisha, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Now 5 minutes time is there. I will cover this one. Which one? Testing frameworks and other tools used in this one. Observe Pavani. What is the advantage of, what is the use of frameworks that we will discuss later? Here, testing frameworks. Here I am going to give one small assignment to Preeti. Personal assignment. Sometimes I will provide group assignments. Observe Preeti, if I explain all elements, you need to do R&D also. Okay. Suppose testing frameworks. Here observe one point. Selecting testing, otherwise selection of testing framework depends on programming platform. Getting this point, Preeti Joshi? Preeti, any confusion? Confirm. Your voice is very low.
Mine?
Your voice is not reaching properly. Pavani?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand this point? Selection of testing framework depends on programming platform.
Okay.
Suppose if we use Java, then supporting frameworks are, you have to use either JUnit or TestNG.
Testing.
In our training program, we will discuss TestNG. It is almost all similar to JUnit. If you learn TestNG or JUnit, learning other testing framework is very easy. Annotations purpose same, and this TestNG inspired by JUnit and added some new functionalities. NG stands for next generation. Suppose observe Jyotirmai. Suppose if we use C sharp, just a minute, C sharp .NET. If we use C sharp .NET, then supporting framework is NUnit. Getting?
Oh, yes,
Means
sir.
NUnit is also similar to TestNG, but suppose I am using Java. If I want to select NUnit, no, Java doesn't support NUnit. Getting this point?
Okay.
Suppose if you are
Yes, sir.
using C sharp .NET for programming, if you want to use TestNG, no, C sharp .NET doesn't support TestNG. If you want to use Java, then supporting frameworks are either JUnit or TestNG. Okay, here assignment 2, who is she? Preeti. Preeti, observe. What are the, actually it is secondary, Jyoti. Most
Yes,
of the
sir.
time we use Java, second place
Yes.
Python, third place C sharp, enough remaining limited use. Okay, anyhow, get this one. Preeti, what are the supported testing frameworks for Python? Next, Ruby. Next, hypertext preprocessor, PHP, and Perl. Did you understand the assignment, Preeti?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the purpose of TestNG framework and remaining things we will discuss later. And one more thing, in our training program, that syllabus not available, but some others use, some projects, some companies may use. Observe Jyoti, one
Yes, sir.
assignment to you, personal assignment. What is that assignment? What is the, you need to collect the theoretical information and send to my mail ID. Then we will share to all team members. What is
Okay,
the
sir.
use of, what is the use of Maven? Did you hear this word Maven?
No?
Okay, you select Maven, ANT, and tools or softwares. What are the use of, what are the uses of Maven and ANT tools in Selenium? Okay.
Okay,
Suppose
sir.
test automation. Okay, good. Test automation using Selenium.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next, observe Pavani. Pavani,
Okay, sir.
observe. Not in our syllabus, but awareness required. Some companies may use. What is the
Okay.
use of? What is the use of Jenkins? Did you hear this term, Jenkins, Preeti?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
What is
Yes,
the
sir.
use of Jenkins in this requirement goes to Pavani, Selenium.
Okay.
Okay, na?
Okay.
Jenkins. Okay. Next, day by day I will give practical assignments also. Just except this one, except ninth, Selenium versus UFT. Okay, otherwise I will provide platform or basic for this one. Just observe Pavani. Two
Sir.
more concepts are there, Selenium versus UFT.
Yes.
Next, Selenium environment setup. In this chapter, I will provide theoretical approach only for Selenium environment setup. In practical chapters, I will show how to download and how to configure Selenium and other components. Okay.
Okay.
See, Selenium versus UFT. Selenium versus UFT, formerly QTP, it takes some 20 to 25 minutes time. Today, within 2-3 minutes, I will just provide the foundation for this. Tomorrow we will continue. Observe Pavani, Selenium and UFT. Why I am comparing Selenium with UFT? Reason is these are market competitors in this area of testing. Suppose you no need to compare Selenium with Test Complete or Selenium with Silk Test. Why? Silk Test limited use. Nowadays, in this area, what is this area? Functional test automation. See, Selenium, observe these points. Selenium and UFT are important tools in functional and regression testing. Functional and regression testing. Just a minute. Functional and regression testing, basically test automation. Just a minute. Today I will explain just one difference. Tomorrow we'll continue nearly 14-15. Selenium, UFT, formerly Quick Test Professional. Observe Jyoti, today only one. Tomorrow we will continue. See, first one, it is
Open source.
open source. It is open source. Open source software. What about UFT?
Vendor.
It is vendor tool. Otherwise, observe Srisha, otherwise we can say it is commercial tool. License is required.
Yes, license is required.
Okay, we will continue tomorrow. I'm going to close the session. As usual, I'm asking the confirmation from you. Tell me, Jyoti, any queries regarding this today's session? Today we discussed
No, sir.
introduction to Selenium except 2 topics. No, okay, cool. Pavani Yogendranath.
No,
Okay,
sir.
cool. Tell me, Pavani.
No, sir, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Preeti.
Sir, I have a question.
Tell
Can
me.
you please show me the questions?
Pardon?
Can you go up little bit? Can you please go a little bit up? Okay. No, just stop. Okay. Just now you gave us your
I will send this class notes also.
No, I have a question for that. Sir, after this training, can we will be able to work on Maven, Ant, and Jenkins?
See, in Maven and Jenkins, no programming, just integration. In companies also, so many my world students also telling. In companies also, they learn in projects within 2 or 3 days working with Maven, Ant, and Selenium, not Selenium, Jenkins tools. Why? In that no programming, only navigations and only integration with Selenium. Any problem?
No, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
welcome. Sirisha, any queries regarding this today's session?
No, sir.
Welcome. Smriti Pandey,
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
welcome. Vijaya,
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
we'll meet tomorrow, Same time. Thank
Thank
you.